DD214 Network Podcast is for mature audiences only. Any videos, music, or entertainment not originating from DD214 Network is used and covered under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, also known as fair use. Opinions expressed are our own and do not represent any DoD or U.S. government entities as a whole. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. You are no longer alone now, because we have you.
Oh man, how's everybody feeling?
Hanging in.
So, I gotta ask you guys: have you guys been paying attention to the news this week about the stingray who got pregnant by the shark?
I want to say I saw something about that so briefly, but I did not read it.
I didn't read into it. I just saw that some female stingray at some aquarium. There's no male stingrays in the fucking thing. There's only sharks in the tank with it, and yeah.
So there is a debunk here, so don't worry, okay? But the story came out the other day about a North Carolina stingray who is pregnant right now, and that hasn't had any mates. Oh my God, Jay, that's a huge fucking cup. Holy shit!
It's a big ass beer. See that? See where it says big ass beer on it? This is big ass beer.
My Lord. How many beers did it take to fill that up?
It's not 32 ounces. I used a 16 ounce and about half of another one. So it's about 24 probably. This is probably about a 24 ounce mug.
Fantastic. So yeah.
I got it in Tombstone, Arizona at a place called the Big Nose Kate Saloon. It's kind of famous.
Yeah,
Big Nose Kate Saloon. But yeah, that's cheers.
So the stingray's pregnant, hasn't had her babies yet, and people are freaking out, and they think that the shark got it pregnant. But the thing is that is that possible for a shark to impregnate a stingray?
That was going to be my next. I was like, I don't think those two species can. Yeah. Like lions and tigers can procreate, right? But the offspring, known as a liger, is very much like mules, incapable of offspring production. Yeah, just like mules. When a horse and a donkey fuck and you get a mule, mules are fucking incapable of reproduction.
Interesting stuff.
Sharks and stingrays are two completely separate species, so they're not in the same genus. So they can't fuck. They can't fuck. I mean, it'd be a lot cooler if they could. Man.
We'd get shark ray. But Charlotte, the pregnant stingray is probably going through something called parthenogenesis, a rare method of asexual reproduction where a female can produce an embryo without fertilizing an egg with sperm.
And that's also kind of hot, I guess. It's kind of hot. It kind of takes the fun part out of it, though. Is that just me? Like I enjoy the fun parts. You know what I mean? Like
I like the fun parts too. The
offspring production is cool. And when it's time to take that next step in biological reproduction, we do that. But the fun part is so much fun. Right?
We've tested the process before. It works. I mean,
sometimes just in my imagination by myself. You know what I mean? Like,
whoa, when did we talk about bestiality? Hold up. Wait, we love when animals procreate with each other, not with us.
by the way, bestiality does not have an A, I believe. I'm pretty sure bestiality does not have an A.
And bestiality is illegal.
Yes, it is, and it's very gross. Who the fuck does shit like that?
Yeah, which is great. And you know, it's another interesting fact.
It does have an A. Thank you.
That there are certain states.
Might be right. Give me a second. I'm gonna look that up.
I also found out interesting enough too that there are states that have like that you could. So you know how like, you can marry your first cousin in some states, you can't. Apparently, the stats are higher in the states where you can't marry your cousin. That's where they are. Yeah, it was an interesting fact.
Merriam-Webster is fucking denying you here. Bestiality. Merriam-Webster and dictionary.com are both spelling it without an A. It's like bestiality is what it looks like. But
okay, so what about what's that other website? The one with all the slang words on it.
Oh, Urban Dictionary?
Urban Dictionary. What about Urban Dictionary?
Fuck, I don't know. Give me a second. Let's see what these motherfuckers have to say. Let me look up bestiality. Yeah, it just looks like they spelled it wrong.
Well, somebody spelled it wrong. We need to get to the bottom of it.
I mean, I fancied myself a high school English teacher at one time. I would like to think I'm right on this, but what are you finding, Joe? What are you finding? How's our spelling doing today?
That's the thing. Like,
spell it
the
both.
only places where it's spelling it that way
are where?
Spelling it bestiality is dictionary.com and Merriam-Webster. Everywhere else on the fucking interwebs,
that just means
spelling it with an A.
That's probably because they're fucking uneducated. Like, just throwing it out
even
there.
Spell check, because the thing is, spell check didn't even try to correct it.
Spell check does not fucking. They don't. Oh boy, here we go.
I was afraid my big dick wouldn't work.
I'm gonna try not to rant. Okay, I promise, John. I'm gonna try not to rant.
Fuck you.
Spell check is not gonna save you. Your fucking grammar checks on your Microsoft Word are not gonna save you. People who can read and write in the English language and know the proper forms can see what works and what doesn't work and what is added or not added.
I've also never looked that word up in the fucking dictionary to figure out the correct spelling of it.
Sure. Well, and it sounds exactly like you spelled it.
Yeah.
And it is pronounced exactly how you spelled it. It's pronounced like that. But yeah, if Merriam-Webster is saying that's the proper spelling, guess what? That's the proper spelling. Like, sorry, like Jay, unfortunately, is going to have to take the win on this one. Like,
I'm not.
Good night.
So,
anywho, off the goat fucking bestiality bullshit. Like, what's next?
Yeah. I mean, I watched Monarch: Legacy of Monsters last night in the middle of the fucking night.
Tell me about that one. What's that about?
So I was looking because the hype with Godzilla -1 is happening right now, especially with the re-release in black and white. And I'm dying to fucking see -1 so bad. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. I heard it was so goddamn good. That
I live vicariously, usually through either the two of you or people near and dear to my heart in my world.
Yeah, so -1 is like it's literally like a modern version of Godzilla, except it's like more respectful to the original versions on the modern take. Even Godzilla himself looks a little interesting enough to say, you know what I mean? But I haven't seen it. It looks good, but they re-released a black and white version of it, which looks so much better if you look at some of the clips, right?
Were they still going to do Ghost of Tsushima in black and white? Have they decided yet if they're going to put Ghost of Tsushima in black and white, or are they going to splash color, or like, do you know yet?
There hasn't been an update on that.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So me and my wife were like, what are we gonna watch tonight? Because we're Traders finished, which was really good. Enjoyed that, and we needed something new to watch. And we were just like, hey, let's watch Monarch. And it's got Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell, and they play the same character in two different eras of time.
Okay.
Which,
that's not exactly that's kind of an older movie trope. It's not.
Yeah.
It's what do they say in Star Wars? Like it's an older code, but it still checks out. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, and it's cool because
that's an older trope. You know, you play the great grandfather, and then you play like the great grandson, but it's like by the same dude because they look alike. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I mean, there's actually a really cool scene where each other's faces fade into each other when they're going from like 1950 something to like 2014. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool, and like it's so eerie. But they do a good job playing the same character. And Kurt Russell, fantastic as always. You know what I mean? But it goes through different eras of time. It goes from the 1950s all the way to the 2015. And this connects with the 2014 Godzilla movie with Millie Bobby Brown. That actually had a big cast. I actually should have been ready for this. My favorite Godzilla movie was Godzilla 2000, by the way. Oh yeah, it was Aaron Taylor Johnson, Elizabeth Olsen, Bryan Cranston.
He's a great actor.
Yeah,
Elizabeth Olsen.
He's in this.
Great. He is that motherfucker is like one of my favorite fucking actors. Like, and he's very unheralded. Very unheralded.
I mean,
he's in a movie. He usually does his part. I don't know about everybody else in the rest of the movies that he's in.
So I mean,
he always does his fucking part.
You know, and the one thing I love about this that it's not just a disaster show about monsters. There's a little bit of tea in there. There's a character that you find out that their father's dead, and when that character goes to the apartment of said dead father, they find out that the dude had a whole nother family. So yeah, and like we're talking about so there's some tea in this show.
It's really funny you mentioned that. I'm sorry I keep interrupting you. Like,
no, you're good.
I actually had a conversation with one of my newfound biological relations this week about DNA tests and how when DNA tests started coming around and once they became available to the public, a whole lot of family secrets became fucking public. You know what I mean? Like whole people that thought they were raised by certain people or grandma and grandpa's sordid fucking past started coming out like left, fucking right, and center. Like
it was.
I'm just glad I was fucking adopted. I knew from the fucking beginning, bros. I was adopted at like 2 weeks old. I've known this shit my whole life, right? Like,
yeah.
I was what would you call that? Illegitimate. I was a bastard from fucking birth, right? But like some of these DNA tests, dude, some of these families, dude, you're talking like how many generations of like family history, and all of a sudden you find out like grandma didn't have grandpa's fucking kid. You know what I mean? And that was like 2 fucking generations ago. You know what I mean? That was grandma might be might be behind the church already buried right now. And everyone that you're fucking related to in the offshoots of that. And well, it ain't grandpa's. It was grandma's, but it ain't grandpa's, right?
Yeah.
Like
so yeah, I mean this conversation comes up in this show, and it's so interesting because the main character survived the 2014 Godzilla attack in San Francisco, and they show you a piece of it, and it's fucking devastating. And it was the middle of the night. My wife and I watched 3 episodes straight, and we had to eventually go to bed. But my God, what a great show! Great production, great characters, and John Goodman's in it too.
John Goodman?
Yeah.
How's he looking these days? I seen he lost a lot of weight.
Fantastic. So, have you ever seen the movie Skull Island?
Oh, I know what it is, but no, I never watched it. No, I missed that.
Talking about Kong Skull Island?
Yeah. So Monarch connects to Kong Skull Island, Godzilla 2014, and I believe like the original Kong movie too. But there's a whole interesting timeline. But I say go for it. It's really good. Watch it. It's on Apple TV Plus. Just go. Just go.
Oh, look, Maria, they're your tires. It says come ho.
You're goddamn right. You're goddamn right. Joe, how was your week?
It was good. No, I mean, typical bullshit this week, like always, but didn't really do much. Watched the Marvels. Not really that good of a movie.
Oh,
it was kind of flat. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The thing is, I've gotten to the point now with even Marvel movies, I don't go to theaters to watch them. I wait till they come out on streaming service. And it just dropped on Disney Plus, so finally fucking watched that. Best part of that entire fucking movie was the damn end credit scene.
Hang on a second. Hang on. Go ahead.
Tell us about what was in the fucking end credits, since that was the best part of the movie.
At the end of the movie, the little girl from Captain Marvel, Carol's best friend's daughter, she's all grown up. She was one of the leads in WandaVision. She's now got superpowers. She's one of the Marvels with, superpowers and all that shit. She, to help save the universe, has to close a fucking hole between realities, get sucked into a different universe, and she wakes up in the catacombs of the mansion from X-Men. And standing beside her is Beast, but not the Nicholas Hoult Beast, Kelsey Grammer's Beast.
I would have been happy with either or, but I'm happy with Kelsey Grammer.
I love that. I love that it was Kelsey Grammer. That's icing on the fucking cake right there.
Yeah,
that's
because,
icing on the fucking cake.
If we look at it, obviously, and this is going to segue into some of our other conversations that we've got, because with the Super Bowl, we had the Deadpool Wolverine teaser, which was literally a 10-second go find the trailer online fucking bullshit, and then you had to go fucking search the internet to find the actual trailer. But with Marvel Studios now, with Disney acquiring 20th Century Fox, all of the old Fox titles from the X-Men franchise. So all of the X-Men titles now are lumped under Marvel. They're not canon right now within the MCU, but they're starting to bring those characters in with, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. We got Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier, and we got the more comic accurate, him in the yellow floating wheelchair and all that shit. Now we've got Kelsey Grammer back as Hank McCoy and Beast in another Marvel movie. We've got, Hugh Jackman's coming in Deadpool 3 back as Wolverine. Who knows if it's going to officially be the last time? Like, obviously, any of us that have been...
Deadpool is the only fucking Marvel franchise I would have even allowed to have fucking Wolverine in after Logan. Logan was literally that's the end of the Wolverine story for Hugh Jackman. You know what I mean? And on top of that, that movie is somewhere in like the top 3. Like, a lot of people don't put it above Dark Knight, but me personally, I'm like, Dark Knight is kind of like starting to show its age, and Logan is not. Logan is not showing its age, and it's like Logan is like slowly becoming like one of my favorite comic book movies of all fucking time, because it is just an amazing fucking film. To have Wolverine come back after Logan is kind of like the only one that could have done it is fucking probably Deadpool. You know what I mean? Like,
and one of the things that I really liked, it was the first Deadpool movie that inspired them to do that Logan movie the way they did it and make it grittier, more adult oriented and rated R. Because if Ryan Reynolds never convinced Fox to let him do Deadpool the right way, we would have probably never seen Logan to the extent that we saw Logan even. Because that was really what kind of was like, okay, well, if we can pull this off with Deadpool, Wolverine's another one of those characters that really can be gritty and more dark. So let's pull it off with that and kind of close it out full circle. So yeah, no, I mean, Deadpool is definitely the only way I would have been okay with Jackman coming back in to the Wolverine character. Now, who knows where they're going to go after this movie? Who really knows what this movie is going to entail? Because we've got the TVA from Loki, and the time variant authorities. From the trailers, it seems like the main antagonist type of era is that. We've had glimpses of what looks like we might end up having fucking Dr. Doom in fucking Deadpool.
Did you see that? Like, is it Doom? Have you seen it? Like, what does it look like? Does he look like Doom? If it's
not Doom, it looks like Doom, but if it's not Doom directly, it could be one of the Doom bots that Dr. Doom has that he sends out to cause havoc.
Yeah.
So it could be either way. Like Doctor Doom might have a small part somewhere, but it might be so small.
When is Deadpool supposed to come out? I know they finished filming or they wrapped June. Fuck, we have to survive another fuck. We have to survive another fucking
I just want to add in something that I have read from multiple sources that Channing Tatum, Daniel Radcliffe, and several other actors are going to be making cameos in this movie as multiversal versions of these characters.
This is going to be hilarious. All I know is
so Channing Tatum is going to probably end up being Gambit.
He is. That's
there's
Gambit. They're going to show Gambit. They're going to show Gambit in Deadpool.
Channing Tatum was actually Gambit, and he felt it was going to happen. They took pictures. Go ahead.
Yeah, they had completed filming of a standalone Gambit movie, and then they completely canned the project. And Channing Tatum was Gambit in that movie.
Jesus,
I would have liked it, but whatever. But we're good. Apparently, this is going to be like what the Flash did.
What did the Flash do? What did the Flash do?
It's going to be Deadpool and other variants of other characters Deadpool's associated with fighting some kind of fucking multiversal threat.
TVA.
Or
TVA.
Yeah, well, the TVA. Or it's going to be more of
Deadpool
kills the Fox universe.
Can I ask the two resident nerds on this show, like, what your thoughts are on something? Because I have a thought on this, and I'm really curious to hear you guys like pontificate about this. Is doing the whole multiverse thing getting fucking old or what? Because like every other goddamn fucking story has a multiverse, and there's different universes, and it's like, can we just fucking stick to the one? And can you write a good story that's contained within one fucking universe? So that like all the broken glass I already got in my head doesn't confuse me more while I'm watching the movie. You know what I mean? Like, is that just me, or am I getting old? Am I getting old?
Being someone that's read the comics and has been a very big Marvel Comics fan, the multiverse thing doesn't confuse me one bit. And it doesn't get old because it gives a new spin on certain storylines and certain characters when you're looking at the multiverse as a whole. Now, with this Deadpool movie, realistically, what I would like to see is, since we already know we've got the TVA involved, we've got multiversal aspects of other characters. The multiverse is already there because Marvel set the fuck up for it between Loki and other movies. You know, even the last Spider-Man movie with having Maguire and fucking Garfield come back as Peter Parker for that. I could see what I would like to see is Deadpool kills the Fox universe. So there's a storyline in the Deadpool comics, Deadpool kills the Marvel universe.
Yes.
Where he literally takes everybody the fuck out.
There's one like that with the Punisher too.
But yeah, but what we do here is, instead of him killing the Marvel universe, he takes out all of the Fox universe characters to set up for the next generation of shit, to bring things back away from the multiversal concept.
That would be that would be interesting.
So I want to throw in. I've said on this show plenty of times before, I'm a huge X-Men fan. It is my favorite Marvel comic book. It's like right next to Batman for me, right? And the X-Men, I mean, they're special. You know, we just got the X-Men 97 trailer, which looks fucking fantastic, and I'm excited for it. And it's time that we finally get our favorite muties up on the block. Okay. So if we get like a different because look, they need to make it make sense, because they made all these MCU movies and haven't had any of the X-Men in it. So they need to make it make sense. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because even in these MCU movies, they didn't have nothing. They didn't have like these mutant prejudice agendas in the MCU movies that the X-Men films talked about. Yeah, exactly. If they listened to the fans, but that's the gist of it.
That's how Deadpool, the original Deadpool movie, came about in the fucking first place. And I think it's not exactly a Hollywood secret, but it's unspoken in Hollywood that like Ryan Reynolds is probably the reason that Deadpool test footage was leaked in the first place. And it wouldn't surprise me, because like When you put your finger on the pulse of something and you can feel the pulse and you know there's a pulse there. And then you've got a bunch of fucking people in suits standing around you, judging you, saying like, no, your first date is weak. You don't feel a pulse. They're fucking dead on arrival. And you're like, dude, you're in a suit. You're not even a doctor. Like what the fuck are you? You're in a suit telling me I can't feel this pulse. I got my fingers right here and I can feel it throbbing. Every fucking pump, every pump of the heart, I can feel throb. And I got a bunch of people in fucking suits and ties while I'm trying to fucking perform fucking like, spontaneous first aid on a dying franchise and a dying fucking genre. And no, dead on arrival. We're not doing that. Dead on arrival. And Ryan Reynolds is like, bitch, he fucking wheeled that fucking patient like straight out into the fucking street and just left it there. And it was like, hey, everybody else on the street who's not a fucking corporate fucking dick suck, look at this. Is this dead on arrival? And like the entire world was like, can we see more of that? That looked really neat. Can we see more of that? And then all the corporate dick sucks made their money off of it. And now they're sucking that fucking tit.
They really are.
Like, holy shit, dude. Like, and that's why I was asking about the fucking multiverse shit. Cause it's like, can we just get a fucking universe where shit happens and blasity, and we don't have to fly through 15 different fucking like.
It's the X-Men universe. The X-Men universe has all of them. The Avengers.
They might as well just bring in Rick and Morty's fucking portal gun, dude. Like they might as well just bring that shit in, dude. Because it's just like, come on, like, can we just get a standalone like Logan?
Don't make
like Deadpool 1 and 2. Just a standalone. It's a story by itself. It holds its own fucking water. There's no fucking flying or traveling through time. We're not trying to reset wrongs. Okay. We just have characters and a character-driven fucking story. Like English, right? Like English. So like whether it's comic books or movies or whatever, writing is key. Writing is key.
And really what Marvel needs to do, Marvel Studios, they need to pick one fucking storyline. Because if we look at the MCU up until now, they've taken bits and pieces from multiple different storylines throughout comic history, pieced it together to make this expansive universe that they've got. And there's parts that have worked well. There's parts that have been fucking completely like, why is this even a fucking movie? Like, who fucking greenlit this to be a thing? If they just picked one fucking storyline and stuck with it. Like when they did the Infinity Saga, leading up to fucking Avengers Endgame, they jumped around so many different fucking storylines in the comic to get to that point versus just sticking with the Infinity Saga itself. If they just stuck with the Infinity Saga, it would have been a hell of a lot better and a lot more it would have been more. It wouldn't have taken properly.
It wouldn't have taken them 30 fucking movies and 10 different fucking individual characters to fucking get there. Put it that way.
Stay down there.
It still would have took that many movies to get there. How they feel. But the movies would have been a cohesive storybook where one movie led into the next.
I see Marvel lost me. The MCU fucking completely lost me. And it was like out of the entire like list of fucking MCU movies, going all the way back to the beginning, and let's say we'll call the finish fucking what was it, Infinity War? Was that Infinity War, or what was the last one? What was the one where after the snap? What was the one like part 2?
That was Endgame.
So Endgame. So leading up to Endgame, it's like, dude, you didn't need 30 movies for that. You could have done that in like eight, but they didn't. Mm-hmm. They didn't.
Like a comic book does.
Basically, yes. Basically, and it wouldn't. And it wouldn't have had to been just about Thanos. It could have been. You still could have had every character that was involved in all 30 of those other fucking movies. You could have every character in there. Just like the comic books. They might have only had 5 minutes on screen and 2 lines, but they were there. Right? And they don't.
Until it was 21 movies, and
straight lost me.
Endgame was the 22nd movie before they closed out the Infinity.
That is a
saga.
long time to fucking wait, and your old pal, your friendly neighborhood Jay, does not have patience for that shit. Like, I am not going to go see a movie about a comic book character I never read, never gave a fuck about. Like, probably think some of them are fucking pussies. Okay, fucking like talking to you, Ant-Man. Talking to you, dude. Like, nobody ever gave a fuck about Ant-Man. Just throwing it out there. But yet we're getting fucking multiple Ant-Man movies from a character that like was never popular. Ant-Man has never been popular. And why these corporate dick sucks thought Ant-Man was better than Gambit.
Jerk him off, and I'll jerk him off. And we'll all jerk off in a circle jerk.
Thank you. That's like that's exactly the shit I'm talking about. Like, and this is not a statement against Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is a fucking local Kansas City hero here. Okay, like love me some Paul Rudd. Ant-Man as a fucking comic book character is stupid as fuck, number one, dumb as shit, number two, okay, and does not inspire me in any fucking way, shape, or form. You don't see fucking kids dressing up as fucking Ant-Man, and if they do, they're like 4 because they can't think for themselves. Just throwing it out there. Like no,
yeah.
Am I wrong? Like, I would rather see fucking Gambit, even if it's with Channing Tate, because he's fucking sexy, right? But like, I would rather see fucking Gambit. I would rather see fucking more Punisher. I'd rather see more fucking Daredevil. I don't even like fucking Daredevil, but I would like to see more Daredevil. I'd like to see more of that shit. I'm trying. This shit. I was an 80s, late 80s, early 90s. Fuck yeah. I was a late 80s. I was a late 80s, early 90s Marvel reader, and that, like, going back to that era and seeing what they're doing for the movies now, and basically seeing what they're spending money on, pisses me off. It pisses me off because those characters were nowhere to be found in the 90s. They were unheard of, and it's like these corporate cocksucks are shoving stuff down people's throats where it's like, dude, nobody ever cared about them in the first place. Like, they should have stayed in the comics. Yeah. They had no place in the fucking on the big screen.
So, I mean, there's definitely some movies that could have been scrapped over others. What I want to see, like, okay, so we've seen, obviously we're at what? 3, 4, 5, 6. We're at 9 Spider-Man movies now in total.
And
if we count
3 different actors.
3 different actors, 9 movies. 2 of the actors have reprised the role of Spider-Man in 4 different movies. 1 has only done it in 3 movies.
Oh, and we're getting Spider-Man Noir with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, and that's a whole different. Yeah,
it's a live action.
We're gonna just not touch on that right now, John.
Yeah. No, you're right, John.
If they're gonna bring Nicolas Cage back to the MCU, they need to bring him fucking back as Johnny Blaze. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
It's not if,
bitch, dude.
It's not if.
Fucking. They can't even keep their fucking shit straight with the actors.
It's not if. This is actually happening. Nicolas Cage.
I believe you. It's just It's bullshit. It's corporate. It's corporate bullshit. It's like it. Why can't Nicolas Cage still be Ghost Rider? Why can't he still be Ghost Rider? Yeah. That's like that's that exact shit I was just talking about. Like it doesn't make sense.
So, but here's the thing. Like, I want to see some of this more low-level street crime stuff that we got with Spider-Man and Daredevil. I don't want to see Spider-Man facing off against fucking intergalactic threats. Give me Spider-Man taking down a fucking thug on the streets of New York City. Teaming up with fucking Daredevil.
My biggest problem with the Punisher has always been like the best Punisher comics. The best Punisher comics were where the Punisher was just doing his thing.
Actually, speaking of the Punisher, he was actually seen on set the other night in New York.
He was. He's coming back. Yeah, he's coming back. But when's the last time you watched the Punisher episode? Good luck finding them. Where'd they go, guys? They're
Punisher on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Where'd Punisher season 1 and season 2 go? Like, yeah, that's the shit I'm talking about.
Still there.
Yeah, but where's season 3? It sure isn't. It's nowhere because they stopped it. I know. Thank you. I know.
They stopped it because fucking
the acquisition.
So it had nothing to do with the acquisition because the Netflix Marvel shows, Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Punisher, those shows were still MCU or Marvel Studios owned. Those weren't like Fox, like the X-Men stuff. However, because they were darker, the MCU scrapped them because it didn't fit their viewpoints at that point. And now with them, now they're bringing them back because so many people were fucking outraged that they got rid of them.
Well, yeah. I mean, what?
Like, hands down, Bernthal is the best live action Punisher we've got it
so far.
Even so far. And you know, there were several movies. I mean, Dolph Lundgren played fucking.
You have Dolph Lundgren, you've got Thomas Jane, Ray Stevenson, and John Bernthal. And out of those, I think Ray Stevenson
Ray
Stevenson looked the most like the Punisher. He looked the most like the Punisher.
Yeah.
Bernthal.
That movie was so accurate too, because it was as deadly as what the comic books would be. Like,
that was Warzone is a popcorn movie. Warzone is a popcorn movie.
No, it is. But that to me, that's what I would think during that time, like a good Punisher movie would be. I mean, look at fucking Jigsaw. He actually looked fucked up the way that he was supposed to,
and he was crazy. And and Bernthal did probably the best job as Punisher, as you would see Punisher transitioning from losing his family to becoming a street thug slash vigilante. And then in season 2, we saw him become the Punisher. We saw him become the actual Punisher. And like, that's
not a square. I cream.
Fuck. You know, Thomas Jane got fucked. Like, he made that first Punisher movie with the understanding and the expectation there was going to be a sequel, and they fucked him on that. And like, he even made a fan film. It's called Dirty Laundry. If you go on YouTube and look up Punisher Dirty Laundry, it's a fan film. It's about 10 or 12 minutes long. Yeah. And that is like, that's the fucking Punisher.
Yeah, Dirty Laundry was made by the same dude who made that Power Rangers film as well. That really graphic, violent one that served for the adults with James Vanderbeek as Jason. Amazing, by the way. I didn't think that was such great casting, but it just worked. What else we got? What else you guys got?
Well, I guess we could talk about my week, but if we're going to talk about my week, I live in Kansas City, Missouri, so maybe we should just get the fucking bullshit out of the way. Oh, Kansas City. My city.
First off, I have to say something before we get into this. I want to say congratulations. I know, we're both from big cities. That seeing New York win every single year for many years, great. It feels good. I know it feels good for Kansas City too. So I know that's a very big thing. It brings city pride. Another thing, I was talking to my kids last night, and I was telling my daughter was just I had hockey on for them. I just threw it on for them, and my son was like, "Yeah, I liked it." And then Landon was like, "I'd rather watch football. I want to see Travis Kelce." And I looked at her. I was like, "What?"
She'd rather watch what with Travis Kelce?
She just wants to see Travis Kelce. And I'm like, why? She was like, because that's Taylor Swift's boyfriend. I was like, did you know? I was like, you remember Mr. J? She was like, yeah. And I looked at Jonah. I was like, you remember your boy? Like, yeah. I was like, he's usually in the vicinity every now and then of Travis Kelce. And they were like, oh, like their hearts sunk.
You could tell they didn't sink; they rose. They were uplifted.
Yeah. They were like, what? They were like, and Lena was like, he has seen Travis Kelce. I'm like, yes, he has.
I've been about as far away from Travis Kelce more than once as I am from this fucking laptop screen right now. But that's just being in the presence of.
It's part of the job. It's part of the job.
That's literally part of the job. It's like I went on when I was on my second deployment. When I was an infantryman, I was on my second deployment, and pretty much all we did on that deployment was what we call PSD, like personal security details. And so sometimes in some jobs that I do for security, not all, and this has happened at both stadiums, like the stadium the Royals play in at Kauffman and at Arrowhead for the Chiefs, I have come into not exactly contact, but extremely close proximity to players, and obviously the Chiefs, obviously the Royals, players from other teams, sometimes stuff like that. And yeah, it's cool. It does bring pride. And Kansas City traditionally has been one of those. It was considered flyover country for a long time. Kansas City was in the 1940s, a very bustling place, a very happening town. It was like kind of like, along with St. Louis, St. Louis and fucking Kansas City were basically the fucking New York, the New Yorks of the fucking Midwest. There was nothing else. Like you got Chicago, and you go a little bit west, you're gonna have St. Louis, and if you go a little bit farther west, you're gonna have Kansas City. After that, there was fucking nothing until Denver. Nothing until Denver, and that's fucking 9 hours away driving. That's 9 hours away driving. So back in those days, that was like the last cities you hit going west, for a while, at least for a while, till you get all the way to fucking California, right? And time does its thing, and Kansas City's always been here. But 60s, late 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, Kansas City is flyover country. Nobody gave a fuck about Kansas City. You know what I mean? Nobody gave a fuck about Kansas City. And the city's going through a little bit of a renaissance right now. We had the All-Star game for baseball in 2012 after we remodeled Kauffman Stadium. The Royals had a really good stretch of 3 years playing baseball. 2013, 2014, they very unexpectedly made it to the World Series, took it to Game 7 before they lost. 2015, they came back and showed everybody how big their dicks were, and that it wasn't a fluke the year before, and they won. Then, a few years later, we drafted a young man by the name of Patrick Mahomes fucking Jr. You know what I mean? Patrick Mahomes the second. Okay? Once we got him, football is football, and so baseball is big, but football is bigger. And once we got Mahomes, Kansas City has been on the fucking map. And now, since Mahomes has come on, we've got fucking lights and sounds and colors and fucking wheels and deals and fucking everything is happening in Kansas City right now. And this city's very much in a renaissance. And, it's not all gravy, obviously. Like any big city is going to come with big city problems. But goddamn, Kansas City's on the map. Like we got World Cup games coming about 2 years from right now. About 2 years from now, we got World Cup games coming. We had the NFL draft last year. The Chiefs are now back-to-back fucking Super Bowl champions. Congratulations to my fucking team. And the reason we're not talking about the Chiefs winning right now is because of what happened at the fucking parade. So before I need to fucking refill my beer, why don't one of you guys take us through part of the parade, and then I can add in here in a second. But take everybody. Chiefs have won the World Series on Sunday night. Team flies back on Monday. On Wednesday, Valentine's Day, we have a parade. And why don't you guys start there? And I'm gonna go freshen up my beer. I'll be right back. I'm coming right back.
Yeah. So, Squillini, do you know about this? Yeah.
I mean, I've only seen very few glimpses of what exactly kind of went down. Parade ended, and there was a dispute. It's said to have been gang related in some way, shape, or form, and that was quick.
I told you, it's right there.
And with that, firearms were pulled out, and shooting started happening. Jay probably has a lot more knowledge on exact numbers. I know one dead and a whole
two teenagers
bunch injured.
Teenagers.
They weren't even. They're not even legal adults yet.
No, and they've been charged with this, and that was a very sad day and a very big stain on our city. We've had so many things to cheer for so many years now. Basically since the Royals went to the World Series in 2014. That's 10 years ago now, coming this year. And then we won in 2015. And once we won in 2015, this city has been vibrant and jovial. And I'm not saying Kansas City is the best place in the world. It is not. It is just like every other big city. It's got big city problems. Okay.
Also, in the state of Missouri, you could be charged as an adult.
Oh, they will be.
Well, if you're older than 12 years old, you could be charged as an adult.
Oh, yes.
You could be prosecuted as an adult if they are charged with a felony.
Yes, and they are. Oh, guaranteed they fucking both are. And I'll tell you what, dude, it was just so I dodged a bullet twice. I was asked to work. If I had chosen to work, I could have worked the parade that day. And I would have been at what we call Union Station, which is an old train station in downtown Kansas City. And Union Station is basically where the altercation took place. I decided not to work.
Oh, one of the people that was a radio host. Holy shit.
That was the lady that died. She was a Spanish DJ. She was a DJ for a Spanish radio station.
Yeah.
And it's by the way, speaking of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce,
she donated $100,000 to the family of.
Yeah, Travis Kelce did too. Like,
yeah, he did.
And the Chiefs and the NFL didn't even give that much. That's.
Yeah.
Hold on. This right here, this is for fucking Travis and fucking Tay, dude. Like, we love you guys, dude. Like, thank you. Like, this shit, so me and my daughters, we were gonna go to the parade. So not only did I miss kind of working there, I was gonna take my daughters to the parade. The weather was beautiful that day. It was a gorgeous day. They were originally anticipating probably close to 1 million people.
Holy
and if you look at some of the pictures from that day before before the incident, it was almost 60 degrees. It was the perfect day to do it. In February, in fucking mid-February, on February 14th, and it's almost 60 degrees. Entire school districts were out because the Chiefs had won. So everybody had their kids home fucking anyways. You know what I mean? Want to do the once in a lifetime thing and go to a fucking Super Bowl parade? Yeah, fuck yeah. Let's go, dad or mom or whoever, right? Yeah, fuck yeah, let's go. Me and my daughters talked about it the night before, and we were like, you know what? Let's go around the corner. Let's have some appetizers. We'll watch the parade on TV like we did last year. Last year was cold. So we'll watch the parade on TV. We went and watched the parade, had some appetizers. Mm-hmm. When the parade finished and they all got to the stage, we kind of stopped watching and we went home. By the time we had gotten home, the news feeds were fucking blowing up. And so I turned on the live feed off of YouTube for the local station here, KMBC, which is local to Kansas City, obviously, Kansas City proper. And all of a sudden it was what just happened? Was it a fucking organized attack? Was it terrorism?
It was an argument.
It was some gang bullshit.
Yeah.
Fucking gang bullshit. We couldn't even fucking have terrorists attack us. It had to be over some fucking gang bullshit. First off, how the fuck are you bringing fucking guns to the goddamn fucking a festival,
a celebration?
All of it. The whole day is just supposed to be good. Take your fucking beef back to fucking 43rd Street or wherever the fuck you're from, dude. Take that shit back to the fucking ghetto, dude. Guess what? I live in a fucking ghetto a little bit, dude. Okay, guess what? We don't fucking bring our bullshit outside the fucking street, dude. Get the fuck out of here with that, man. You drove all the way downtown, and you're aiming, and you're fucking where your bullets went are so terrible. You were so undisciplined with a fucking firearm. 30 people got hurt.
And you're shooting while not looking too.
It took 11 fucking kids to fucking Children's Mercy. That's a hospital here in downtown Kansas City. They took 11 fucking kids to Children's Mercy. 11 out of 30 children, homies. A fucking woman died. A woman died who just wanted to fucking take her kids and be part of a fucking fantastic moment. By the way, both of her kids were shot too. Thankfully, they're okay, but they lost their mom. They lost their fucking mom. And that's such a fucking stain on Kansas City. Kansas City is not typically like this. There is gang violence. There are fucking neighborhoods you probably don't want to go to after dark, okay? I got it. That's big cities with big city problems. Okay, but this bullshit at a fucking goddamn Super Bowl parade, and you literally like took the fucking wind out of the sails of the entire city. We just won the fucking Super Bowl, and you took the wind out of the fucking sails of the entire city. The entire city is just fucking bleak right now because of two fucking juvenile assholes wanting to fuck around with some gang shit, dude. Like, I hope they have fun with that gang shit in prison, dude, because neither one of you is getting out fucking anytime soon. You fuck that shit up for yourselves, dude.
Yeah,
enjoy finishing fucking high school in prison, bitch.
It even says in Missouri law that they will be detained because it was
they're not leaving. They ain't going nowhere. Yeah, they ain't going fucking nowhere.
And it says usually juveniles go back to their parents or guardians, but not in this case because a firearm was used in this situation.
Yep. And I hope they fucking throw away the key. Like they shouldn't fucking see parole fucking until they're like probably in their 40s.
Someone's dead.
Like, yeah. And like a shitload of like how many people
makes you not want to go outside no more. Literally.
Fuck that. I told both of my daughters that night, I was like, we do not let this shit fucking scare us. This is not our city. Yeah. This is not this. We don't react to violence with fear. Like we will face it down. And that's like and that's one of those things where
I would just say the general idea, you know how like some people
it makes you question
senses. Yeah,
it does make you question it. Like, should we go? Should we go to the parade? Should we go to the parade that day? There's going to be a lot of people. Should we go to the parade? And it's like I asked myself the same questions when they asked me to work the parade. Do I want to work the parade? Okay, my reasons for not working the parade were not because I thought there was going to be a fucking shooting. Okay.
And you know this kind of goes into like 9/11 fear. You know, years after 9/11, you're like, oh, dude, I live in New Jersey. Oh, do I want to cross the bridge on St. Patrick's Day to go just enjoy myself and have pizza? Right. Oh, no, I'm afraid something's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like these are general natural feelings that you get when you just want to go out and have a good time.
And you want your family to be safe. I mean, is it too much to ask for your fucking family to be safe and you don't have to run for your goddamn lives because a couple of fucking punk asses fucking brought goddamn ARs to a fucking Super Bowl parade? ARs, dude. First off, how the fuck did juveniles get their hands on fucking ARs, dude? That's another question for like the fucking masses, dude. Like, I'm like one of the least, like I'm one of the guys that like I really stay away from the gun shit because I'm a firm believer in like, you know, personal rights and stuff like that and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going there, but how in the fuck did a juvenile get their hands on a fucking AR? Go ahead, Joe.
Well, and we're not wanting to go there.
It was just a question. I'm doing John's doing John's Tucker Carlson from last week. It's like, well, but how did they get the guns in the first place? You know, and that's a dumb look on my face, like Tucker. I'm gonna hurt you.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of the whole thing. Like we can't let fear run our lives, and because of some dumbass kids. You know, that doesn't mean go stop doing shit. Don't go out with your family. Don't go do shit like that you normally would do just because some dumbass kids fucking did some stupid shit. I mean, it's not. Yes, there's a lot of fucking issues here. Like you said, how the fuck did they get the guns? But that also goes back to the whole people with bad intentions are going to find ways to get the tools they need to perform said bad intentions, no matter how legal or illegal it is. There's nothing that's going to change that from ever fucking happening. And we can't let fear rule our lives. That's all there is to it. I mean, you know, the nation, we dealt with one of the biggest fucking fears of our lives back when 9/11 happened as a fucking nation. Mm-hmm. And the nation banded together and we didn't let that fucking rule our lives. We didn't let that fucking stop us from going and doing shit.
I agree. And
as a nation, we tightened up security for things. We made it safer for people to do certain things. You know, going through the fucking airport now is a pain in the fucking ass because of all the regulations due to 9/11 happening. Even though, you know, we're 20 plus years after the fact at this point, those regulations are still in place because we can't let the bad people have the opportunity to do that again.
And and that's an unfortunate byproduct of That is, yeah.
I want to add in that the Kansas City people, they fucking were vigilant as hell in that situation. And
bro, like this is like,
the footage was insane.
I don't know why the universe saw fit, but being born in Kansas City, growing up and spending most of my youth in Tucson, Arizona, and then spending the fucking last 3 years of my fucking Army career in Pueblo, Colorado. Like, all I know is fucking tough towns. All I've ever been around is fucking tough towns, cities with people that will fuck you up. And I'm not talking about bad people. I'm talking about the regular Joe on the street that works construction just to feed his fucking family will fuck you up. You know what I mean? Like, just the regular Joes will fuck you up in these towns. And watching the people of Kansas City like tackle one of those dudes like fucking running through the crowd and shit was just like, that's Kansas City. Like, don't bring your bullshit here. Like, this is not the place for it. Like, don't bring your bullshit here, because the locals will fuck you up. The locals will fuck you up. Not the bad locals, just the locals in general.
Yeah.
You bring your bullshit. Kansas City, Tucson, Arizona, Pueblo, Colorado. I'm giving you three out of the whole United States. Stay the fuck away with your bullshit if you're gonna go to one of those three cities, because the locals will fuck you up.
It's almost like when like you're playing Red Dead Redemption and you shoot up like Valentine and Van Horn,
and like everybody fucking
they just start coming towards you. It's crazy.
Yep. So, yeah, Van Horn. Yeah, I can't. All three of those towns I just named, that's basically Van Horn. Like, if you fuck with one person, like 30 other people are going to be coming at you fucking sideways. Like, don't bring your bullshit to this part of the country, dude. Like, just fucking don't. Like,
so let's get into the positive stuff about the Super Bowl now.
Please, let's do.
How was the game? What was, because I didn't see it. I was gaming so hard that night. I tried my best to catch some of the trailers, which were really cool. But what was the energy like? Did you have a good time? Because I know the first half of the game was kind of questionable, and then it picked up.
I would like Joe to start with this one. Like, I know you watched the game, and we talked. Yeah. We talked for a few weeks before the game about what it was going to look like during the game. So, Joe, go ahead and start us off on this one.
I mean, both teams definitely showed up. First half of the game, really kind of edge of your seat, especially if you were a KC fan, because fucking the Niners defense was just not letting the Chiefs offense do shit.
We started really slow. Really slow.
I think this kind of was like a record book situation too, because the Niners sacked Mahomes several times during that first half.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. He was not safe. He was getting sacked in the second half too. He got sacked in the second half several times too.
We it was 2 minutes before the end of the fucking first half, end of the second quarter, and then KC finally puts 3 points on the board. San Fran's up 10-3. We're, edge of our seats going into fucking halftime. How's this gonna fucking play out? What's gonna fucking go down? And typical Chiefs fashion, whatever fucking talk they got from fucking Reed and the coaching staff back in the fucking locker room fucking did it for them, because they came back and they fucking got those points up on the board. I mean, I wouldn't even say there was no bad calls that entire fucking game. Everything was going, as smooth as possible. There was shitty plays by both sides of the fence. My favorite fucking clip, and they showed it at one point, was when fucking Kelsey on the sideline fucking body checked fucking Reed and was yelling at him. Like,
there's been a lot of talk on that. What a lot of people with the talk are not remembering is earlier in the season, fucking Reed body checked fucking Kelsey. That is not uncommon on the sidelines, and
that's the type of relationship Reed has with his players. Like,
yes, and we're talking about levels. This is not peewee. This is not fucking middle school. This is not fucking JV. This is not varsity. This is not college. These are all fucking professional athletes. I'm not saying what Kelsey did was professional. What I am saying is coaches at the professional level don't have anything left to teach you. You're at the professional level now. It's whether you fucking perform or not. It's whether you perform or not. But the players have that same mentality towards the coaches. If you're coaching and you're calling fucking dog shit plays, which I'm not saying Andy Reid did, but you'll see players, and this is not just for the Chiefs, on other teams. When you see a player yelling at like the offensive coach or the defensive coach or one of the fucking line coaches, when you see them yelling at each other, it's like they're shit talking each other because they're like, dude, I did exactly what you said, and it fucking failed miserably. And so what we saw was Travis Kelce getting very heated early in the game, very frustrated. That is not uncommon on the Kansas City Chiefs sideline or on any other fucking sideline of any other fucking team.
Exactly. It would have happened no matter what team it was. You know, that type of shit happens. We're on a professional level. They're, it's no longer the coach. Like you said, the coach isn't teaching anymore. The coach is just there to manage the fucking game.
Yeah, thank you. Like that's all they're doing at that point because these motherfuckers have been playing since they were knee-high to a grasshopper and somehow they made it to the NFL. Like, coach isn't fucking showing you any trick plays anymore that you've never seen. It's like you've already seen it at that point.
Yeah, Kelce was upset, but that shit happens. That's the way that's just what happens. The overtime thing, obviously, like when San Fran won the coin toss and they took the fucking receiving in overtime, I was sitting on my couch like, what the fuck are you doing?
Did you see Mahomes' face? Like Mahomes is just like,
he was just visibly fucking confused. Like,
you're gonna give us the ball back?
Like, do you understand what overtime rules are now? Like, what the fuck? And you could clearly tell the Niners had no clue what the new overtime rules are.
Well, they should have paid more attention because we lost a fucking AFC championship game. We asked the league to change those rules. Guess what the league did? They said, fuck you, Kansas City. The next year, the year after that, we beat the Buffalo Bills in the AFC championship to go to the Super Bowl, which we also won against the Niners. The Buffalo Bills cried about it. They changed the fucking rules. And now this was the first playoff game where those rules got implemented. So the Niners and anybody fucking whining about that shit, straight up suck my dick. Those rules have been in effect for freaking 4 years. And not because Kansas City fucking lost. Because when we asked the league to change the rules, they didn't change them. No. But by God, when those fucking idiots that jumped through fucking tables in Buffalo fucking cried about it, they changed the fucking rules for the whole league. So you know what? San Francisco, 40 whiner fans, suck a fucking dick. Like, if you didn't know what the fucking overtime rules were, eat a fucking dick. Like, straight up. Like, you had 4 years to figure it the fuck out. You had 4 years.
And not just that, like, at that point, that's where the coaches have to say, that's where coaching comes into play. The coaches should have told them before they went out for the fucking toss, for the coin toss, if we win this, don't receive fucking, we want to get the ball after the Chiefs first run down the field because of the new rule set. Like, that was just piss poor management across the board. I mean, the game could have definitely gone a different direction if the Niners didn't miss that PAT.
That I was going to bring that up earlier. That the when they got
that missed extra point,
that was the
really
game. That was the game.
That would have been the fucking game right there.
That would have changed the entire rest of the game because of the scoring. They would have been 1 point ahead. So, like, that would have changed the entire dynamic. There wouldn't have been overtime. Guarantee you there wouldn't have been They might have won the game. The Niners might have won the game if they had made that extra point. They might have won the game.
It was 100% like overtime happened because of that missed extra point. Yep. That's the only reason that game went into overtime. Because any other way, like, the Chiefs would have been 1 point behind, even if they got a fucking touchdown. They would have had to do a 2-point conversion to tie it up. And Mahomes is great and all that, but again, we're talking championship level game. And the way the fucking defense for the Niners was playing
wasn't looking
that
good.
Entire fucking game, going for a 2-pointer would not have been a fucking good call.
It wasn't looking good for Kansas City. It really was not. And then our defense came in clutch. I got to say this too. I love MV Pat. Okay. I love MV Pat. I love me some Mahomes. Okay. He brought championship football to the Chiefs. Okay. Never going to hear me deny this. The MVP of the Super Bowl should have been fucking Harrison Butker, our kicker. Like Mahomes, for all of his accolades, Butker, our kicker, should have been the MVP. He scored 52% of our points in that entire game by himself. Yeah. He kicked a fucking San Francisco
set like a 62-yard fucking field goal or some shit like that.
57, but it was like San Francisco set the NFL record in the Super Bowl record for the field goal, and then a quarter later, Butker fucking broke it, and it was just like bink, 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 like fucking, and the dude was clutch, and like Kansas City has a long history of losing bad games in the playoffs. And there's a game with a guy that I'm not even going to fucking name because if you're from Kansas City, I know you already know it, but I'm not speaking it on this podcast. And we call it this guy's first and last name game. And it was from the 90s. And we had the guy miss 3 field goals in a playoff game we totally should have won. And the Chiefs season was over that year. We were 13-3 that year. We were 13-3, looking like we were going to win the Super Bowl. And we went out in the fucking, well, it wasn't the first round. It was the divisional round because we won the division. But we went out in the divisional round, the first fucking playoff game we played that year, because we had a kicker miss 3 field goals. And it's shit like that having a fucking dependable, reliable kicker sometimes like will save the entire day. And that's what Andy Reid was like, fuck it, we're not making it, kick a field goal. Fuck it, we're not making it, kick a field goal. Okay, now we got a touchdown. Okay, now we blocked an extra point. Now we're fucking cooking. Now we're cooking with grease. You know what I mean? Now we're getting something going. We're getting something going.
I mean, overall, the game was really good. Props to both sides of the fucking ball. Like for both teams, even. The Niners fucking came out there and they were like, no, we're not going to let the Chiefs run all over us. We're going to play fucking championship ball.
Props
and they fucking did.
They did.
Absolutely. You know, Brock Purdy and the fucking offense for the Niners did fucking their job.
Had to go to overtime.
The defenses did their jobs. Every side of that fucking field was fucking there, present, ready to play fucking ball. And that was hands down all playoff season, the best performance the Niners put on since the fucking playoffs even started, leading up to that point. Because, you know, we talked about it last Sunday before the game. We weren't sure if the Niners were going to show up during that first half, kind of like how they didn't show up the 2 games before that.
Yeah, Green Bay and goddamn Detroit. Like they didn't show
with Green Bay and Detroit. They weren't present for the first fucking half. No. And if they did that with the Chiefs, that would have been a totally different fucking score on that board at the end of the fucking game. If the Niners didn't show up at the first half against the Chiefs would have had enough points on that fucking board that even if they came back in the second half, the Niners still wouldn't have been able to fucking get caught up, and there wouldn't have been overtime then either.
And that's just, and that part, that's football. That's football. And that's the part that I love the most about it, is like and thankfully for us here in Kansas City, things worked out, and that overtime victory was a thriller. And I do still have video of what it sounded like here in Independence, and for the second straight year, after the scoreboard went to 0 and the Chiefs scored that touchdown, it sounded like the Gaza Strip for a little bit over here. But it was all in good fun. It was all in good fun.
Not the fucking Gaza Strip.
It kind of did. I got videos. I got videos, bro. Like I showed you guys the videos from last year. Like, not much changed. Not much changed.
Yeah. So moving on, we to the news, and to kind of close this off soon. Charles Benjamin Chuck Mahiney has passed away. He was the deadliest sniper in Marine Corps history.
Who?
His name was Chuck Mahiney.
Okay.
In 1991, the world learned that he had 103 confirmed kills during his time deployed to Vietnam in the late 1960s, and that count made him not only the deadliest sniper of the Vietnam War, but also the deadliest sniper to ever serve in the Marine Corps. But he never
Corps, dude. Corps. Marine.
Sorry. Jesus Christ. They're fucking crayon eaters. They can't say it themselves.
I hope no Marines are watching. Like,
no, they're the only ones that say it properly and then go raw, 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 green crayon raw if you say it wrong. So
fuck out of here. I don't give a fuck. I'm calling it corp, okay? It says corp. I'm fucking saying corp. I don't care.
Learn to read. Learn to read.
I was gonna say learn.
You sound like my damn fiance right now whenever I tell her it's salmon, not salmon.
Oh my god. Did she say salmon? Did she seriously say salmon?
She pronounces the fucking L.
God, I gotta like get you guys like hooked on phonics or some shit, dude. Like some fucking
started. Anyways, poor old Chuck passed away. He had his purported record caused a bit of an uproar in the Vietnam and veteran sniper communities, but it turned out that not only was the book accurate, it might have been underreported his accomplishments, and it was an even more incredible feat given his young life and that he almost never joined the Marine Corps in the first place.
John.
Now I'm doing it on purpose.
Core. Yeah, but you're gonna fuck me and Joe up like really bad if you keep doing that. Like, god damn it. Like we gotta talk about you doing this before we do the show, because then I'll try to ignore it. You know what I mean? But like
I'm gonna contact my little brother and ask him what he thinks of it.
It's there's no thought. That's how you pronounce it. It's core. It's core.
I don't give a fuck.
That's how people fucking
just like it's the engineer corps. Or the Corps of Engineers. It's the military police corps. It's not corpse. Corpse is a dead body.
So I was doing some research on a video game that I'm doing a promotion on, and I was reading some really interesting shit. And in this story, there was a morality issue where a soldier found something out that the U.S. government was doing, and he locked himself in a hole, and he died. So I'm talking about this because I want to talk about morality and how it could eat you up and kill you at the end of the day. So when I'm talking about morality, I'm talking about things that you've done in your past that eventually come back to haunt you in the end. And I'm not saying this because it's happening to me now. I'm saying this because this research that I was reading really brought up the thought about people and how they handle things and what they do in the end. And you know, and in that situation, it was very dark, you know, and to read it, you know, to know that there are video games and TV shows that are doing these types of things to kind of put a realism and grounded framework in the things that we watch or read. It's important to understand that there is a way out of the situation and your feelings. Now, there are situations that can really fuck up your morality. I'm not even going to get into some of those things, but some of those things you can't come back from, but you can't seek help from it. You can't seek help from it, you know, and whether, you know, it comes, you know, and I'm going on the side of non-criminal morality, you know, sure. Like maybe you fucked over a friend that didn't deserve it, you know, and it's been killing you this whole time, or maybe you broke something your little sister's that meant a lot to her, and you lied about it your whole life, and now, you know, you just come to a point it's like, wow. And you know, little things like that really do come back and eat you up, you know. So I feel like that this is something that we haven't spoken about before, because bad things do happen to good people and so on and so forth. And I just want you to know that if you're having a hard time talking to anybody about the things that you have done in your life, know that there is always someone available to talk to you. These are things that you can talk about on star 988. Oh shit, where's the... I just press... Oh damn. Okay. Yeah, you could hit not even star. You could just dial 988 or 1-800-273-8255 talk. You know, you can... They are there. Tell them everything that you need to. Explain your situation, you know, talk to, and if not them, talk to somebody close to you, maybe, you know, because maybe sometime even your closest friends may understand, or even an outside source could give you a better perspective. It is super imperative to keep your mental health in check. Like I said, the holidays just passed, you know, things are always happening. There are always reminders of bad things that are happening in our lives and little triggers that make you snap. Guys, talk to someone today. It's absolutely important that you do. we want to see everybody increase their mental health. I mean, we're 4 years after the pandemic, and people are still living from their choices that they made from that time. You know, some people got out of their holes, some people didn't. And if you're in that hole, just look at the top there in the banner and hit 988 or dial 1-800-273-8255 talk. It's you know, I know myself, I gotta do some reality checks on myself every now and then, you know, especially with the things that I watch and the things that I put myself into. And hey, you know, you just gotta roll with the punches and learn to absorb them and eat them up and find a way out of it. You know, people make mistakes, people don't make mistakes, people live with the mistakes, and then people fix their mistakes.
And it's also possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. And that shit's rough too. That shit's rough too. We get you guys. We get you guys.
We know. I know that. I mean, I don't know anybody personally right now that just has bad luck like that. You know what I mean? But it does exist.
Oh yes,
it does exist. You know, and it could be anything. Like as far as me getting frustrated with technology, or maybe Jay had a bad beer, or maybe Joe dropped his whiskey. You know, like it's just the little things, and you know. The little things turn into big things, and the big things, you know, you don't want to deal with it when it's big. You want to get to it when it's nice and little, nip it in the bud. So you're not alone. We love you guys. I love you. Jay loves you.
I do love you. I love all of you.
Joe loves you.
It's good. It's good. It's good to be back in black. I can tell you guys that much.
Yeah, congratulations.
Back in black.
Congratulations to Kansas City, and
yeah. And we're going for a three-peat next year. So and now that our fucking goddamn party got ruined, we're gonna have to win next year so we can have a better fucking parade where there's not a bunch of fucking craziness going on and ruining everybody's fucking goddamn experience. You know what I mean? So yeah, like now we got to go for three. Now we got to get our dicks fucking really hard and go for three, which by the way, I'm gonna say it here first. It's never been done in the NFL. If there's a team that could possibly do it next year, barring injuries, barring all the shit that me and Joe talk about weekly during football season, if there's a team that could do it, it might be the fucking Chiefs. So if you're hating on the Chiefs right now, I might have some bad news for you next year. So we'll see. We'll fucking see. But God bless the beautiful city of Kansas City, Missouri, dude, because we are champions for another year. We are champions for another year. With or without the bullshit, we are champions.
Absolutely. So, guys, we hope to see you next week. Another 168. We love you guys and have a good one.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. Peace.